studied at Duke University and I did Applicant Day in San Francisco.
Studied at NUS in Singapore and I did my Applicant Day in Singapore.
I studied at Duke University for undergraduate and I was in Durham in the year of my application, so I had my interview in Durham.
I did my undergrad in NUS and I did my Applicant Day in Singapore at the old campus.
I studied in NUS and I did my Applicant Day here in Singapore. It was a nice experience. I really like it because at the same time, well, you are trying to get into the school, but the school is also actually trying to sell itself to you. As you know, the school is very new, so they will be telling you about all the new things they are doing in the terms of teaching, all the team learning that they like.
I really enjoyed Applicant Day because it is in a very different format than regular med school interviews, where I feel like you're being shuttled from place to place, like sometimes like cattle even, and you always feel like you have to outcompete yourself and you're sizing up your competition, and the competition and the high stress environment can get to you. But in this Applicant Day, I feel like it was very, very stress-free. You got to actually know the people really well, and it was more of a conversation than actual interview, asking question, answer, question, answer.
I think the experience was hardly as scary as I imagined, so it was a pretty relaxed affair.
I got really from the Applicant Day was how passionate the faculties are in this new way of teaching. When they talk about the team lead method that they are doing, you can really feel their passion in talking about it. And yeah, I really like it.
It was quite interesting because for us, I think for Singaporeans, we hardly come across the term Applicant Day. It's more like they will call us up for an interview, but not for Applicant Day. So we were quite worried.
I really liked my Applicant Day. I thought it was very informative, and it's very different from the Applicant Days of other schools too. Because Duke-NUS is a new school, so they spend a lot of time talking about the advantages of the school, which a lot of things that I wouldn't have thought of beforehand.
We get to know more about, how the school is run, how the lessons are carried out. So, and we talked to some faculty and seniors. I think it was quite helpful.
I really liked the team lead because it takes the nerves out of all the applicants. We're more relaxed afterwards because we argue about the questions and we get a sense of how it's like to be in the school.
My favorite was the lunch with the current students because that's the real time when you can really hear it from the students who are in the school, like how heavy the workload is actually, like what your normal day is about. But although the workload is heavy, but they tell us that you still have time to do all your normal activities. You still have life outside the school. And one thing is that the school really takes care of the students' welfare.
I would say the lunch session, yeah. I think it was good that, everyone was just sitting down at the table, and then it was more casual, and the faculty and our seniors, they were sharing about how the lessons are carried out. And they were telling us how bad it can be, like they were telling us the truth, which is good. But it makes you feel quite scared that, whether you can cope with this. But they were telling us how we can try to, cope with stuff. So I think it was helpful. And the faculties were very friendly too.
I really liked Dr. Kamei giving a very thorough presentation about this school, how it was concepted, and how it was built up from basically an idea, and basically a day in the life of a student, how they deal with the stress, how they cope with the amount of workload, and just being able to talk to my fellow interviewees about this school, about why I wanted to apply. And since we didn't really have a team lead session, there was not that environment that could lend to a little stress. So we were able to just talk freely about where we're from, where we came from, and why we decided to come.
I think the part of Applicant Day that benefited me the most was the team lead session. So we were assigned into small groups and we had a discussion on the topic assigned. And so the process of interaction helped me to relax a bit before the interview with the faculty.
Reread your essays, your applicant essays, because I believe that you have already written about your best in that essay, and that's why the school wants you. So the faculties will want you to elaborate some of the things that you wrote there. Just be prepared for it. Talk about or probably your research experience or your voluntary experience that you had it there, to explain further about any part of the essays, to answer the standard interview questions. Like when I had my news about the applicant day, first thing I did was to Google medical school interview questions, and basically I read everything and try to give the proper answer for it.
My best advice would be to come prepared, but relax because you've crossed one major hurdle by being shortlisted already.
I think the most important thing is to relax, to be yourself. And it certainly helps to prepare maybe a week before, looking at the questions that people usually ask. But then the interview is very open. It's a lot of open questions. So you pretty much determine what you want to tell the interviewer.
I would say don't be so panicky and nervous, but do come prepared. It's good to think through what questions you might be asked on the applicant day, but at the same time prepare yourself for it. I think it's good to think before you say something.
If you are in Singapore, I would suggest to read up more about the Singapore healthcare systems, because they might ask you about the current situations or what are the current policies, and you want to come prepared. It's better to be over-prepared and be ready to answer any questions that they ask you, rather than under-prepare and hope that they don't ask that specific question that you didn't read. And if you prepare well, you'll really enjoy the applicant day as much as I had it.
I would say relax and be yourself, because half the battle is won by them choosing you for applicant day, and they really sit down and go through everyone's application, picking out interesting facts about them and wanting to get to know you a lot better. So just come in, don't be nervous, relax, and have fun.